Hey, Stalin.
Hey, hey,
How you doing today?
not too bad. How about yourself?
I'm doing all right. So check this out. I think blood sugar is a sport. I think blood sugar management is a sport.
Really?
So I want you to think about that.
Oh, well.
When you think about basketball, right, you learn the fundamentals first,
Right.
right?
Right.
And then after you learn the fundamentals, you execute.
Right. Same time.
Exactly. And the more you play, the better you what?
Perform.
Exactly. Okay?
Right.
So let's talk about blood sugar from that perspective.
Right.
So the fundamentals are the knowledge that it's fat, fiber, and protein that drive blood sugar in the spectrum that we want it to be. So the optimum blood sugar window is 70 to 85. If you are 99 to 70, you're in range and you're said to not have diabetes. If you are in range from 100 to 124, you are diagnosed with pre-diabetes.
It's pre-diabetes blood sugar.
Pre-diabetes, if your blood registers as being 100 to 124, you are told that you have pre-diabetes. Okay?
Is that the...
When your blood registers at 125 or greater, you are diagnosed as being diabetic. So, the object of the blood sugar management game is to be under 100 for sure, and then if you're an optimum superstar warrior and you always want to do the best, then you want to be in that optimum window between 70 and 85. Okay? So, when you learn a new sport, think of yourself as a youngster even going to basketball camp. You're going to be taught the fundamentals. You're going to be taught that the object of the game is to win. And you're going to be taught that in order to win, you need to hit that basket. Those balls need to go through it, right?
Right.
And in order to make that happen, we've got to strategize, right? Now, with a team sport, you've got to learn what each position does. You've got to learn to play together and to coordinate to get the ball in the basket. So, with blood sugar then, when we think about it as a sport, if we go to a restaurant, if we're trying to decide what restaurant to go to, for example, we might say Chipotle. Now, knowing what you know about blood sugar foods that help you, why might Chipotle be a good choice?
Because they're going to have the equal balance. They'll have the protein and they'll have the fiber.
Exactly. Because they serve the beans,
Yeah.
two types, right?
Let's say black beans and pinto beans.
That's right.
Okay.
Exactly. And those beans represent the legume family. So the legume family includes beans and lentils, for example. And those products are higher in protein, higher in fiber than rice, for example. So if you're playing the blood sugar game and you're strategizing, you may get the black beans and the pinto beans. You may get the pork and the chicken. You may get the sour cream and the guacamole, right? Because the animal kingdom has how many carbohydrates?
Zero.
Zero. And what raises blood sugar?
Carbohydrates.
Exactly. And they provide beef, pork, and chicken.
And something else, I think.
Something else too.
What's the other meat? Barbacoa or something? Or
I'm not sure.
I think they have something else.
Okay.
Or carnita or something like that. Or there's some other protein they got there.
Yes, I don't know Spanish. Unfortunately, I can't remember.
I go there quite a bit.
But yes, I like Chipotle.
Right.
And they are unique in that most restaurants do not provide pork options other than ribs. But from a fast food standpoint, pork is not like common. And I like the fact that that establishment has the goal of feeding people better. So I like to patronize them because they understand the research and they're trying to provide people healthier options. Okay?
Definitely.
So even though they have brown rice, and brown rice is still going to give you more carbohydrates and less fiber than the legumes, the black beans and the pinto beans. But you've got the bean options there. And you don't have to choose the rice, but you can still get that starchy, okay? Another thing I want to point out about the legume family is when we want to build a fire, which do we want to use? Do we want to use paper or do we want to use wood? Which will burn the longest is probably a better question.
The wood.
The wood, for sure. So when we eat, we want to eat foods that fill us and that burn in us the longest amount of time, because the more times we eat throughout a day, it keeps our blood sugar and insulin up. And what we want to do is to eat a meal that is heavier on the stomach so that it burns longer, so we won't be hungry again for at least 6-8 hours. Because eating frequency is adverse to management of blood sugar. Make sense?
Yeah.
Okay, so bearing that in mind, if you were to order at Chipotle and you ordered the double beans with, let's say, all 3 meats or 2 of the meats or what have you, and you added sour cream and you added guacamole, you're going to have a meal that's going to be heavy. And you're going to be full and it's going to burn for hours without you being hungry. So you're not going to be snacking.
Right.
You see? So one of the fundamentals of playing the blood sugar game is to eat in a manner that's going to suppress your appetite so that you eat less frequently. Okay? Makes sense?
Definitely does.
The other thing is when you feel satiated, you want to have an awareness and eat kind of slowly so that your brain can register that, oh, I'm full. So that you can stop eating, because the amount that you eat, your blood sugar and your insulin are going to rise in keeping with how much you eat also. So, from a fundamental standpoint, understanding that the volume of food, the frequency of eating, and eating in accordance with fat, fiber, and protein is going to help you to make the best decisions throughout the day.
Got it.
Any questions?
No.
Okay. The other thing that you and I have covered is exercise. Exercising throughout the day using weight resistance. You can use your own body weight or you can use the free weights, any weights, is going to stimulate what part of the body? The muscle.
Muscle mass.
Exactly. And when we stimulate muscle, what happens to glucose?
It rises.
It transfers.
Oh, okay.
Because when we eat, the blood sugar is in the blood. And we want it to transfer from the blood to the muscle. So, exercising throughout the day with particular emphasis on the thighs is going to help your body to run the way that it should, because the body is supposed to use the glucose, and it will use it if your muscles are stimulated. The thighs are the largest muscle group, so thereby you're going to get the biggest bang from exercising your thighs. Okay?
Yep, I'm keeping that in mind.
Yes, very good. So I want you to think about blood sugar as a sport, something that you are strategically trying to get better and better at it. Now, you need to be able to measure results. So what we are encouraging everyone to do is to monitor their blood sugar. The least expensive way to monitor your blood sugar is to test every morning. Just like you get up, you go to the bathroom, you might lay back down, you might brush your teeth, whatever your routine is. But we want to encourage everyone to test their blood as a part of their morning routine. Before brushing teeth, you can drink water, but no eating of food. That way you're testing every day on an empty stomach, you're fasted. And by doing that, you're going to get the result of what you did yesterday. So my blood sugar, for example, today was 94, which is elevated for me. I'm usually in the 80s, 70s. But on Sundays, I tend to always be higher. You know why?
Why?
Because I only get about 4 hours of sleep before getting up to get ready to come to church. Sleep deprivation elevates your blood sugar. Secondly, from the time that I finish eating to the time that I get up on Sundays, the window is smaller. Not as much time has elapsed because I tend to eat right up to the point of laying down. So the time, not enough time has expired.
Right.
Okay? Thirdly, yesterday I cooked. I made broccoli, cheesy broccoli, and I made lentils.
Soup?
Nope, I just made like a side dish of lentils. But you're right, it makes an excellent soup. So, and I also made a batch of coffee. Now, the significance of this is whenever we cook, we're going to be tasting in order to get the flavor the way we want it to be. Every time we eat, what happens? Blood sugar and insulin rise. Okay? So even though none of those things that I made are spikers, they're all blood sugar friendly, I'm still consuming more, and my window of eating is wider, because the shorter your time frame of eating, you really want to eat within a 6-hour window, for example, the shorter the time, then the body is going to read that as one eating. But if I eat, let's say, breakfast in the morning and then dinner at night, and let's say then I've eaten twice in a 12-hour window, my blood sugar will be higher because of that.
Right.
So I've noticed the pattern that on Sundays, my blood sugar runs higher for the sleep deprivation reason. And then if I cook, then I notice I'm higher the following day. Okay? So when we're learning to play a sport, we need to be able to measure our results. In basketball, how many passes, how many layups, how many free throws, right? Stats, exactly. So in the game of blood sugar management, it's very important to measure your results every morning or get a continuous glucose monitor. Those are available through a lot of insurance programs if you're pre-diabetic or diabetic. And then over the counter, there are a couple of companies. One is called Zoe and another one is called Levels. And you can access those continuous glucose monitors on your own online, okay? And continuous glucose monitors, the benefit of those is that every time you put something in your mouth, it's giving you a reading right away. So you're gonna know, you've got oranges over here, for example. As soon as you eat the orange, you're gonna see right away what it does to your blood sugar in the now and in the 2 hours from now. How long does it take for the blood sugar to drop? So it gives you continuous information, okay? But those are more expensive. So the testing, the finger prick in the morning, that's the least expensive route. And then the continuous glucose monitor, if you can get those via your insurance, then perhaps it's still comparable. Any questions about those things?
No, I pretty much covered everything.
All right, beautiful. So give me in your own words, how do you see the parallel between sport and blood sugar management? Do you think it's a good one?
Yeah, it kind of simplifies it because I'm in the sports, and so I was just gonna look at it as just a quick, switch to understand.
Absolutely, beautiful. All right, guys, thank you so much for watching. Please give this video a like, a comment, a share, and subscribe the channel. Bye now.
See you next week.